I think it is started. Yeah. Well, hello everyone. Uh, so in this video, I'm going to save the particular record in the database. But before that, I'm going to give you a quick recap on what we were doing in the previous video and what we did actually in the previous video and what we are expecting to do in this video. Okay. So in the previous video, we have created our register form. Okay. We have created our register form. We have added the partials, that is header and footer. It means like if you look into the code. So we have created our partials, that is here header and footer, and then we have created our layout. It means that we had two layout here, that is main layout and there is just one layout.hps, and we have added all these things in app.js file. It means like when you will move to app.js file here, so you can see that we have created our layout directory here, and we have created our partial directory here. So in the layout directory, we have kept all the different type of layout that we want to use in our application. And in the partial directory, we have added certain partials that will be included into our layout, or that can be included in the page. It means like that is partial is mostly a common thing that is used in the certain website. Like we are using header everywhere in most of the pages. We can exclude the login page, but we are using in most of the pages. Okay. So partial is basically we have our header, footer, and all those things. And layout is basically the entire layout. And then we had created an authentication where we had register.hps, where we have created this demo form with first name, last name, email address, and password as our field, and we had a submit button named register, and we were using the post request with action to register, and then we have created our register post request here. It means router.post register. Now, to be more precise, if I will do return response dot status, we will put status as 200 dot json as our request dot body, because in the request dot body we are receiving all the entire data of our form that we have created here. Okay, so we have our all the particular data. It means like whatever we will insert in this particular first name, whatever we will insert in the last name, what will insert in email and password, that will be in our request dot body. So it means like if you want to see this, we can I can show you here. So our application has been closed. Okay, so we have an error here. So let's set this. Okay, so that error removed because I was working on something before making this video. Now we can see that if we are putting the Sourav Satyam email ID as saurav.s at the rate gmail.com and password as something. Okay. And we are adding register, then we are receiving the particular data within the JSON format in the backend. Now what I want is I want to save this particular record within the database. It means that we are using mongoDB as our database, and I want to save this particular record within the database. Now in the last video also I have installed a particular dependency, and that particular dependency was mongoose. So we use command like npm I mongoose and then save flag in order to save it in our package.json file. Now, so we have our mongoose installed. Now what I will do, I'll create a schema. A schema is basically a prototype of a collection. Okay, a collection you can say it as a table for MongoDB, basically for saving the record uh, in the MongoDB database. Okay, so we have our schema folder directory here. So I have accidentally made it as a file. So I want to create a folder here. So I'll create a folder and I'll name that folder as schema. Inside this, I'll create a new file and I will name it as user schema.js. Now we have user schema.js file here. So I'll say constant mongoose mongoose, okay, equals to require mongoose. I've shown you in the first video that how to import a particular library. So here I'm importing the mongoose library that I have installed in the previous video. Now I will say const caps schema equals to mongoose dot schema. Okay. Now if you want to go through the documentation of the mongoose, then there is a very good website. It means that is the official documentation of mongoose. That is mongoosejs.com. Okay, so this is the official website of mongoose, and you can get the entire documentation in this mongoosejs.com docs guide.html. So regarding everything like mongoose schema, and so I will go through the basic things here. It means that is required for my form, register form. So I'll create a schema now. So for creating the schema, I have to import the mongoose, and then I have to import the mongoose dot schema key. It means like I have, so I have imported the mongoose and I have used mongoose dot schema. Now I will say const user schema equals to new schema, then bracket. Then I'll say first name. I expect first name type to be as a string, and I expect the value to be presented, means required is to be true. Then we have our last name. I expect the type to be as string, and I want the required to be as true. Then we have first name, last name, email. So back to I want the type to be a string, and I want the required to be as true. It means like this should be present. It means like password. So I want the type to be as string, and I want the required key to be true. And then I can set like registered ER, registered on, and then I want the type to be as date, and I can set a default of date dot now. And at last what I'm going to do is, so we have our user schema, so I'll export it now. So I'll say mongoose dot model. So I'll use module dot export first. So I'll say module dot ports equals to mongoose dot model, and then I will name the model to be as users, and then I will export this schema, that is user schema that we have created. So I think this is all for our schema part. It means like I created a user schema file, and within this particular file I have imported I have added the particular key that is being needed to be saved in our database with the model name as, it means like user. I mean, this will be a collection name in our database. So now we will navigate to our index.js file and we will import the user model. So user model equals to require. So I will get one directory up. So we have our schema here. Then user schema. User schema. This was the file. So we have imported our user schema. Okay. Now we will remove this. Now we have our user model here. Now I will say const user model equals to new user model. Okay. Now I'll say user model dot first name, that is equals to request dot body dot first name. Then we have user model dot last name equals to request dot body dot last underscore name. Then we have user model dot email equals to request dot body dot email. And then we have user model dot password equals to request dot body dot password. And then at last we will say user model dot save. So this makes it the callback, and I will say uh, response dot status to be as 200 dot json, and we can set a status of true, and I can set a message of user registered successfully. Okay. Now, so this is how it means, like we have imported our user model. We have created first user schema here. So this is my schema, user schema. Now here we have imported that particular user schema, and then we have instantiated an object here. And then within that particular object we have it means like used all the particular key that we are using here. It means like first name, last name, email, password, register. So register on basically we are not using because we want the default value of it. It will date dot now. It will give you the exact proper date with timestamp in which you are registering. So we have our index.js file here. So we have saved all the records now. Now we can see that whether it is working or not. Okay. So we have our register form here. So I'll reload it. So I'll say Sourav. I'll say last name is Satyam. Email is Sourav at gmail.com, and I'll say password to be as Sourav at 1992 or something. So we can see that we are getting a status as true and message user registered successfully. Now if we want to cross verify, then what we will do, we will open a new terminal here. Within the new terminal, we will type Mongo to start the Mongo sale. My database name was YouTube, so you can see that my DB name was YouTube here. So YouTube, and then so I will use it, and I will say db.get collection names in order to see that what is the, so we can see that we are getting users here. So if you see, then we have named our model as users. So that is the name of our collection here, that is users. Now if you want to see that what is inside this particular user, you just have to write db.users.find and then you can see that you will see that this is the record that we have inserted right now. It means Saurav, last name is Satyam, email address saurav@gmail.com, password something, and so this was a record that we used to save in our database. Now, if you want to suppose insert a new value, so we can insert a new value. So like we'll navigate back here and we will say for Anand Gaurav @gmail.com. The password to be as Gaurav @1992, and we'll register it. We can see that it has been registered now. Now again we will use the same command db.users.find. We can see that there is another one, another entry with the name Gaurav Anand, email Gaurav@gmail.com, password Gaurav1992. So this is how typically we save or record in our database. Okay, so this is all for this particular video where we have saved the particular record in the database. In the next video, my work will be to create a login page to make user login using the entries that we have used in our register. Entries that we have used while registering a particular user. So the next work will be basically first to make a login page. I'm making a note because it will be there, even though we are not going to save it and we will cross it. So basically to make a login page, this is my first task. Second will be mm, second will be to work on login functionality. Then third will be like to remove duplicate entry while register. To remove duplicate entry while registering. What does that mean? Basically, is that I want my email to be unique. I want my email to be unique. Like suppose we have Saurabh last name as Satyam, email address as Saurabh.Satyam Singh, and password as Saurabh at the rate 92 or something. And then actually email should be unique. So as you can see that we have already used Saurabh at the rate gmail.com. Now if we will insert it again, it means like Saurabh at the rate gmail.com again, and we'll click on register. We can see that it is registering the particular user, and we can see that there is 3 entries now. So if we'll do find, then we can see that it's same entry third and entry first. So I want the email basically to be unique. So we will work on the unique feature in the next video, that how can we make unique email registrations and all those stuff. It means like I will work on this 3 topic in the next video. So see you in the next video, guys. And most probably my video will be like I will try to post 1 or 2 videos in a week. So in order to prepare for the content for the particular video and all. So uh, that's all, guys. See you in the next video. Thank you.